All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, and to talk to you about what's happening in these grain markets. It's been an interesting one again as of today. Now it looks as though we might have taken some of that Black Sea premium and put it to the side, and now we're just looking at the weather. Why don't we bring up that corn board and see what the weather's indicating to us? You can almost look at these prices and tell you what the weather's going to be. This looks to be about a nickel lower across the board. We were about 6 cents lower last time we checked, but we still have SEP corn below $5. It's $4.98.5. That's down 5.5 cents. And again, we've got about a 12-cent range over there, so that'll give you an idea. If we're only 2 cents from the lows of a 12-cent range, that paints the picture. Dees down 5 cents, 5.08's last, 2.5 cents from the lows. And again, we've had about a 12-cent range. 2.5 cents from the low of a 12-cent range will also let you know how that market's been trading today. Kind of on its heels would be the best way to describe it. If we move from corn to soybeans, this one I'm going to call schizophrenic, right? SEP's up 2 cents to 13.72.5. And that's about 5 cents off the lows. And we've had a decent range over there. I'd say about 16 cents, 17 cents. But then if you go out to Nove and Jan, they're both sharply unchanged. Nove sits at 13.31 3/4. All right. So we've had a little bit of a range over there, about 18 cents, but we're unchanged right now. Let's move on from soybeans to Chicago wheat. Chicago wheat market, that's down about 17 cents across the board. SEP's down 17.5 cents to 6.48 1/4. Let's go to the Dees. That's down 16 3/4 cents to 6.75. It's about 5 3/4 cents off of the lows, and we've had about a 30-cent range. So if I told you we're 5 1/4 cents off the lows of a 30-cent range, you'd get a little bit of an idea about what's been happening in Chicago wheat. If we move from Chicago to Kansas City, and let's take a look at that. Well, that SEP price is down 14 1/4 cents. We're below $8, 7.98.5 is last there. We're 6 cents away from the lows, actually a little bit lower, 6 1/4 cents off the lows. But we've also had a 32-cent range, so 6 1/4 cents off of the low of a 32-cent range tells you the story. 15 3/4 cents lower in the Dees, 8.13 3/4 is last with a similar range. How about spring wheat? Spring wheat in Minneapolis. Well, let's start with SEP. That's off 3/4 cent, 3 ticks. 8.55 is last. About 8 3/4 cents off the lows. All right, so that'll give you an idea. But we've had that's about a 24-cent range over there. So 24 cents, we're about a third of the way through it off the lows. That'll also give you an idea about what spring wheat's doing. Dees is down 3/4 cent. 8.68 3/4 is last. And then finally, let's get to the cotton. We'll bring our next guest analyst in. Cotton's up 94 points in that Dees contract. 85.66 is last. And that's about 21 points off of the highs. Let's bring in Tommy Grisafi from Advanced Trading. And I'm going to guess he's in Valparaiso, Indiana, which I think he is. All right, Tommy, thanks for being on the show. Look at you in your own studio there. You're getting to be big time, Tommy Grisafi. What are your thoughts here? What are your thoughts here?
I'm speechless, and that doesn't happen often, Scott the Cow Guy. Listen, on a bright side, I just sent an email to my the company who works on my ticker, and they are making me a cow logo for my ticker.
Oh,
so this stuff's getting real down here.
It is.
Hey, I kept my glasses on because there's some important things I want to talk about. How much time do we have? About 2.5 minutes?
Well, not as much now. Keep going.
I'll take over from here, boss. All right. Keep an eye on Minneapolis wheat. That came out with some poor crop ratings yesterday, and we noticed that price action right on last night's open. Also, keep an eye on oats. Yesterday was the last day of the month. Now, full disclaimer for oats, there's only about 3,500 to 4,000 contracts open interest. You stood with your back to the oat pit for a long time. You were in that corn options pit. In the oat pit, Mr. Jay Holman was right there. But oats are interesting. The fact they went from down 10 yesterday to up 10 at the end of the month and hit 460. Boy, what's oats trying to tell us? If oats get higher than corn, that's going to be interesting. So I think the oat market and the Minneapolis grain market is trying to tell you that the Canadian crops aren't nearly as good as one would think. Luckily for the world, they don't need as many oats and as much spring wheat as one would think. So that's why we're doing this back and forth. Number two, I want to just full-blown say I think you should be thinking heavily about 2024, hedging, protecting, and buying fertilizer for 2024 crops. Keep an eye on fertilizer. I just noticed on the headlines, Russia said they were going to put some tariffs and raise fertilizer prices a little bit. Get that fertilizer under control. Once you know that, start setting floors for 2024. The government is spending over $1 trillion a year in interest payments. And that is my third point. The cost of monies went up, not only for you as a farmer, but for the United States government. And when the government's paying more, they're not going to be nearly as willing to hand out money for different things unless you went to college, and that's free, folks. So send your kids to college. Don't worry, they don't know anything. Back to you, my friend.
All right, the Tommy Grisafi 3. We love it. Thank you very much. Stay right there. We need to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We'll come back and talk more with Tommy after this. All right, welcome back to it's Commodity Rep Kickoff. That's another show I do. I can't believe it. Market Day Report. Why don't we start there? And then we're going to go to the live cattle before I make any more glaring errors. Let's take a look at live cattle and see what the Board of Trade's got in store for us. And that's a pretty decent up board. Let's start with October up $1.87 to 181.40. And that's 45 cents off of the highs. Ding, ding, ding. I need one of those buttons. December's up $1.92 to 185.32. So there you go. That's about 55 cents off the highs as well. Let's move from live cattle to feeders. They were higher last time we checked, and they still are. Maybe gave back just a tad here. We've got a set board that's up $2.30 to 251.50, and we've got an oat board up $2.10 to 253.57. Not bad. Or up decently across the board there, and we tail off as we go out the deferreds. And then finally, let's take a look at lean hogs. Lean hogs are, what are they? They're a little lower here. October is off by 52 cents to 85.47. Let's bring back in Tommy Grisafi and see what he's got to say about it. Tommy, what are your thoughts here when we talk about these live cattle prices, or these cattle and hog prices?
The second corn backed off, corn opened lower, went higher. The second corn really started to trade off, and wheat was the big seller. That feeder cattle market just went bid, and it's legit. I don't know when it ends. It's okay. It doesn't need to end. The mathematics say that the numbers are tight. But I'll tell you this, the live cattle market is extremely tired. We're actually starting to trend down. Big picture, we're in obviously a huge uptrend, big bull market. But if you're long, you're noticing every day we're up, and then we tend to go back towards the lows. Hogs, everyone for themselves. That's Adult Swim only. I've never been a great hog trader. I'm still not a good hog trader. I do not hedge hogs for any clients. Advanced Trading hedges hogs for a bunch of clients. I'm just not the guy to talk about hogs unless we're talking about premium brands of bacon. That's my specialty, Scotty boy.
All right, brother. I'm going to say glasses on. All right. Thanks for Tommy Grisafi. He's come to us from Valparaiso, Indiana, with Advanced Trading, friend of this show, friend of the Cow Guy Close, and I throw it back over to Suzanne.